You'll be contacting the realtor right away after seeing what these individuals discovered in their garden. These items are quite strange. Right when you believe you understand your backyard, you discover $10 million worth of gold coins concealed beneath. Well, that may not be the case for most of us, but for the folks in this movie, it very definitely is. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Remarkably, many tales include homeowners excavating their backyards for various purposes, like a garden or a swimming pool, and discovering amazing finds. If any of the goods were discovered buried beneath your property, how would you respond? 4 centuries-old church bells. When a Czech guy was installing pipes in his garden in 2013, he happened to come discover an odd metal item. His interest was aroused, therefore he made the decision to investigate. Digging it out took him days, but the rewards were well worth the effort. In his garden lie 2 massive church bells that must have been cast some 400 years ago. As it turned out, the bells had been taken from a local church 11 years prior. The burglar had buried them, but had vanished. 1700s graveyard. In the process of preparing his backyard for a swimming pool, Vincent Marcello, a resident of New Orleans, stumbled into an ancient cemetery that predates the 1700s. Oh, that's not at all spooky. You know what's very unsettling? Unfortunately, the discovery of 13 caskets containing human remains by the workmen is not unique to the area. 34 bodies were discovered in 1984 when an apartment building was being constructed. If you're not going to move to New Orleans, raise your hand. The shelter for nuclear energy. The Zwick family knew that their home had a metal door that led someplace, but they were never very interested in opening it up since they assumed there wouldn't be anything to see on the other side. However, one day they decided to open the hatch since their curiosity was overwhelming them. It came out that hidden in the backyard was a fallout bunker from the Cold War. Down there were tools, lanterns, clothes, and medical supplies. Massive earthworm. While drying some of his clothes on a clothesline in the garden, Li Zhiwei, a Chinese laborer, noticed a snake. Though it didn't actually resemble a snake, it sure seemed to. Upon closer inspection, he saw that it was a worm measuring about 20 inches. Given that earthworms are always products of their surroundings, scientists were curious as to how it was able to develop to such a large size. This one seems to have devoured an entire person. Explosives and TNT grenades. Imagine discovering a hand grenade in your garden. That was the situation for a 39-year-old Czech man in May 2013. There was something below a stump in his yard that he intended to remove. He phoned the police, rather bewildered by the unexpected discovery. Upon retrieving the things, they discovered that the guy had many TNT bombs and tons of hand grenades from the Second World War in his garden. Vertebrae of mastodon. When you're a little boy playing with a friend, you don't anticipate experiencing any unusual events during the day. The Detroit couple, Eric and Andrew, were constructing a dam in the backyard creek. While gathering rocks and sticks for the dam, Eric saw a strange-looking rock. After he showed his mother what he had discovered, she made the decision to have it examined by a paleontologist, as one would. As it happens, the vertebrae were from a 13,000-year-old mastodon. Massive bones. A white item was protruding from the earth as a family in Iowa had a pleasant day of fruit harvesting in their garden surrounded by woods. It turned out not to be what the mother had assumed it would be. Rather, it was something completely different. They were shocked to discover that it was a femur bone once they dug it out. Later, researchers from a nearby university determined that it was a woolly mammoth bone that was 12,000 years old. A swimming pool with an alligators in backyards are an all too typical sight in Florida. This is among the many reasons why individuals are scared to relocate to Florida due to its insane laws. When Sharon Benty and her husband noticed a commotion coming from their backyard in Bradenton, Florida, they got up close and personal with a gator. It seems that an 8-foot alligator got lost and thought the family's pool would make a great temporary home. It was simply another Florida day when the couple noticed the alligator and phoned the sheriff. Coins worth $10 million in gold. Someone needs to alert the treasure hunters to a find they are overlooking. A couple from the Californian Sierra Nevada region had the adventure of a lifetime, that of being treasure seekers. They saw the top of a rusted canister sticking out of the dirt as their dog was out on a walk. As it turned out, the canister had a number of gold discs that were made as early as the 1890s. Although the coins had a $27,980 face value, their current estimated value is close to $10 million. $150,000 in cash-only broccoli picking in your backyard doesn't seem like a very lucrative hobby. Tell that to Wayne Savage, a 51-year-old jobless man who discovered $150,000 hidden in a canvas bag in his yard. With the idea that the money would be his if no one else claimed it after a year, he reported the find to the police. It seems that Sabage's neighbor threw away the money due to a curse, and a judge awarded a share to Sabage and the neighbor's daughter. A Maserati. In 1978, two Los Angeles children were playing in their garden when they discovered a Dino 246 GTS Ferrari. They discovered that the automobile had been stolen and buried by robbers some years prior after digging it and conducting some preliminary research. It's interesting to note that nobody in the community knew it existed. It was thought to have been a component of an insurance fraud with the goal of obtaining it in the future. A Herta. Would you trust your child if they raced into the kitchen in the UK and cried out, "There's a cheetah in your backyard"? No, is the clear response. When Julian Taylor's kid raced in and informed her there was a cheetah in the backyard, that's precisely what occurred. Even though she didn't believe him, she still looked. She was shocked to learn that their land was home to a cheetah. The 6-foot-long predator had apparently gotten away from an animal refuge close by. Human remains dating back 1,000 years. While excavating a pond in his home, a guy in Utah uncovered a shocking find that would shock anybody. He promptly contacted the police to conduct an investigation after discovering human remains in his property. The examiner returned with even more shocking test findings after a thorough examination, stating that she had never seen anything like it. Because a Native American who lived in Utah almost a millennium ago was the original owner of the bones. While loaded machine guns are quite prevalent in the United States, they are rather uncommon in the majority of other nations. When a guy from Calgary, Canada went to take out the trash, he discovered a pillowcase in his backyard next to it, which was a very unsettling discovery. When he unzipped the bag, he saw a mobile phone resting next to a fully loaded machine pistol. The most eerie aspect? They're still unsure of the owners of anything. Asteroids. To begin with, the odds of discovering a meteorite are rather low. This further reduces the likelihood of identifying a meteorite over a typical darkish rock. However, in his property, a Serbian guy who lived in a small town in northern Bosnia discovered 6 distinct meteorite fragments. It appears that the man's property draws space stones for some reason. It's amusing that he even believes that aliens are using the meteorites to deliberately target him. Age of 650 years treasure. In 2007, while excavating to extend a backyard pool, an Austrian man from Wiener Neustadt discovered a treasure hoard believed to be around 650 years old. Although this narrative seems like it belongs in Pirates of the Caribbean, it's genuine. More than 200 rings, brooches, elaborate belt buckles, gold-plated silver plates, and other haphazard fragments of antique pearls were found amid the treasure. We've finally located what Captain Hook has been seeking for, so somebody go get it. World War II bombs. A large portion of American territory was utilized to test-fire new bombs and weaponry during World War II. Tens of thousands of acres that were formerly a shooting range have seen the construction of thousands of residences to far. There was one range in Orlando in particular. On what was previously a 12,000-acre bomb range, homes began to be constructed, and people began finding shards everywhere. Since the initial discovery in 1998, over 100 rockets have been unearthed in the backyards of the local homes. Bones from dinosaurs. The idea that dinosaurs formerly roamed the same area millions of years before humans is absurd. While constructing a fence in his backyard in 1997, John Lambert of Ipswich, UK, came upon a sizable and peculiar bone. Before deciding to transfer the bone to a museum to determine its true identity, he clung onto it for more than 16 years. The discovery that the bone belonged to a plesiosaur and was 250 million years old shocked experts. A well-known actress. Imagine discovering a strange, scared, suspicious woman in your garden who is missing a few teeth and is dressed in soiled clothes. One may presume that she had experienced hardships throughout her life and was most likely homeless. That isn't the situation here, though. Margot Kidder, who played Lois Lane in the Superman films, was discovered in a frenzied condition in someone's lawn in 1996, at the age of 47. After receiving a bipolar illness diagnosis, she was sent to a mental health facility where she has since fully recovered. Old Stone. An amateur historian from England named Stephen Davis discovered a reference to an old stone that may have identified a Bronze Age burial site from around 2500 BCE while studying the history of his own house. After some time spent looking for it, Davis discovered the stone, completely covered in ivy, in his backyard. It was anticipated at the time that the stone would be declared a scheduled ancient monument by the Historic Buildings and Monuments Commission for England. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.